so much for joining us this week. Welcome to episode 2 of BTLX The Cutting Edge. So this is a video we're putting out every week, and it's just to show you what's going on here at BTLX, and to give you a bit of an idea of what we are all about. So after the feedback from last week's video, which was a bit of a random thrown together thing at the last minute, the general feedback was that people would like to see a build video, which is what I'm going to give you today. And it's a build video about the bass that I'm making for our still to be not named VIP celebrity musicians. There's 2 of them, but I'm only going to take you through the build of one today. And it's only going to take us about halfway through the build, but it gives you an idea of the workflow or process here. The reason I'm making these videos, of course, is quite apart from the fact that, you know, I want the best publicity for BTLX Guitars. I've been inspired by 2 channels in particular. Crimson Guitars, Ben Crow, absolute legend over at Crimson Guitars, and Texas Toast Guitars, Matt and Chris over at Texas Toast. 3 absolute superstars, legends in the world of luthiering. And if I could get them to come on here and like, subscribe or comment on this video, oh my god, guys, if you do it, I will run around Woolworths in the nude. In fact, no, tell you what, if you don't do it, I'll run around Woolworths in the nude, okay, because nobody wants to see me run around Woolworths in the nude. So for the sake of humanity, get on here, like, subscribe and leave a comment, please guys. I would wet myself if you did, because I'm not ashamed to admit I'm a fanboy, and you guys are heroes of mine. So if you would like and subscribe and comment, oh, I would absolutely wet my pants. So the reason we've chosen this format, moving forward, I don't want to sort of stagnate because I've got a habit of rambling, which I'm doing right now. Stop it, Sam. So the reason we've chosen this format is because me just talking to camera is boring. People want to see, we're a guitar company, people want to see us making guitars. So I thought the best thing to start with is this bass build, and let you see it being taken from a raw piece of wood right the way up to a completed instrument. So before I get into that, before we start the video, before we start the actual build, I just wanted to tell you about a competition I want to run. Okay, I know it's only the second video, only the second BTLX Cutting Edge video, but I want to run a competition, and the reason for the competition is I want to increase awareness of BTLX, and I want to increase the subscribers on this channel. So I'm setting 2 targets, 2 breakpoints. First breakpoint is if we get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to give away a free BTLX Guitars t-shirt. Okay, so I'm going to pick a name out at random from the list of subscribers, get their address and send that t-shirt out to them. Lucky winner, it's a free t-shirt. Again, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 is considerably more than 100, so the odds are slightly longer. So we've got to give something a little bit better away. So what I'm going to do, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a free musical instrument. And the free musical instrument is one of these. It's one of our Boraleles. They are a hybrid Irish-Hawaiian instrument. Yeah, that sounds bizarre, doesn't it? But we're looking at a banjolele that's made with an Irish boron drum. They've been very popular amongst American customers. So they seem to go down well. So when we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be pulling a name at random out of the hat for all the subscribers, and that winner will get a free Boralele, all of their own. So the incentive there, guys, is get out there, put the word out to your friends, like, subscribe, comment, everything down below. Get the word out to your friends, get them to like, subscribe and comment, because the sooner we get to that 1,000, the sooner that instrument is going out to people. Or someone. Not people, someone. So, yeah, get yourselves liking and subscribing, get your friends liking and subscribing, share this on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Bebo, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever the social media things are that all the cool trendy kids use these days. Get it out there, get everybody subscribing, get them on here, the more the merrier. We'd love to have you all here. So without further ado, let's cut to the build. This is what we've been working on this week. It's a bass for a very well-known local Northern Irish musician. Catch you on the other side of this. So we're working on a bass today. This is going to be one of the BTLX Artist Series basses. The reason for that is because these are being made for, there's two of them being made for two, shall we say, VIP clients. Very well known bass players. I'm not going to name them. As I say, they're not being, I've said this before, they're not being named until the basses are ready to go out to them. Some people know who they are. I ain't saying nothing just yet, okay? So what we're looking at is a through neck, bridge to nut of solid oak. Lovely piece of oak there. That is going to be the main body of the bass. That's going to keep the main strength of it. We're going to have the wings either side of the body, made from a nice contrasting piece of Iroko, which I picked up yesterday, and I'm very, very happy with that. That's going to be lovely. So once it's cleaned up, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So, first things first, let's get down to marking this out. Centre line is everything. So, let's work to our centre line. So we are looking at how we have so we are looking at 5 3/4. There we go. If you're working with wood, get yourself one of these. Mechanical propelling carpenter's pencil. The leads don't break the way an ordinary propelling pencil do. And it is just outstanding. Look at my ruler, it's all twisted. My straight edge. Let's get that lined up. Let's get a centre line put in place. Always, always, always respect your centre line. Because without your centre line, you can't do anything. So this bit's probably going to be quite boring, folks, because all I'm doing is marking up. But I know you guys enjoy watching what's happening, so that's fine. So, next thing, headstock end, bridge end. Keep your work marked out so you know what you're doing. And take your template. So we're going to take the template as far down to the end as we can. We want a decent length, scale length. We're going to line this up with the centre line. And we're going to get the curvature of the body marked in. Absolutely that simple. Let's just get this out of the way here. Okay, so now we need our bridge position. So coming up from the end, we're 8 centimeters. There's our bridge. Let's just mark that off. There's our bridge. And we want to come up 80 centimeters for the scale length. So that's what this is going to be, an 80 centimeter scale length. There's our 80 centimeter point. And that is where the nut will go. Right there. Awesome. Simple as that. So next thing we need is the neck width marked out. So at the nut, we're going to be looking at 4 centimeters wide. Keep it nice and simple. So there we go, 4 centimeters at the nut. And at the bridge, we're looking at 7 centimeters. Again, simple measurements. Now 7 centimeters isn't the string spacing at the nut. The string spacing at the nut's going to be more like about 35 millimeters. So 7 centimeters is just to give us the taper of the neck. Which is of course clearly marked there. And it is clearly marked. Yeah, fantastic. So now we have body, cuts in, taper of the neck, headstock to go on. And I do have a template for that. So this is a BTLX electric guitar headstock template, but we can modify it to work for the bass. There we go. That's one bass marked up on the oak, ready to cut. Now we need to consider the truss rod. And in this, we will be having, I don't know if we should have 2 truss rods or not. I might go for the double truss rod. No, single truss rod will be plenty. 1 single truss rod in there. Which will run right down into the body. Okay, so we've got the router set up to cut the groove. What we need to do now is get an idea of where the truss rod's going to stop and end. So I want it to come out just about level with the bridge, or with the nut, sorry. So we're going to have one end there, and the other end is going to extend well down into the body here, and it's going to stop just there. So those are the 2 extents of the truss rod. Okay, so then comes the fun bit. So we clamp the work down. Always clamp your work down when you're using tools like this. The last thing you want is your work leaving the bench and maybe a power tool taking part of your thumb off. That's the last thing you want. And of course we need to plug the router in. Always helps. So first of all, visualize your cut. Make sure you have no cables in the way. Make sure they're not going to get in the way while you're cutting. Line yourself up and don't go all the way in one go. You've got plenty of passes here, so let's make our first cut. We'll switch the electric on first, shall we?
Anybody know where the Wickstock goes? Say he lives alone with his bow and his crows. Does anybody know? I need to find out. I need to find out. I think I found his crow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, some people say you got long black hair, eyes like a tiger, teeth like a bear. Does anybody know? I need to find out. I need to find out. Tell his crow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here we've got our truss rod. What I'd like to do at this stage is just give you an idea of what the layout is going to be. So we're going with 4 individual bass bridge saddles rather than having one complete bass bridge. We'd like this to be ultimately adjustable. So we're going to have 4 individual bass bridge saddles. We're going to have, and these are outstanding, Warman pickups, bass humbucker, overwound. The output from this is incredible. And we're going to have that located right there. Okay. Fretboard is going to come down to, you may as well bring the fretboard down to full length. There's a lot of point, there's no access beyond that point, so, but we need to hide this truss rod, so we'll bring the fretboard down to full length. What we could do is we could do just a nice extension of the fretboard. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I was thinking of the wood for the fretboard as being this, but it's not cut to the right length. Unfortunately, it's too short. Would have been a nice fretboard, but it's just too short. Okay. So that's the base so far. There we go. So this is where we left off yesterday. Body, through neck, with the two wings glued up, clamped up. Let's just check and see how they've dried, or how they've cured even, sorry. Use the correct word, Sam. So remove these cross clamps. And now for the moment of truth. I would call that a successful glue up, wouldn't you? Bit of a gap down the back there. That's okay, we can give it epoxy in there. So we can. It's looking pretty nice. Okay. So the next task is, as you can see, the guitar shape on there. The next task is to take this to the bandsaw and get rid of all this excess material. So let's take a little move over to the bandsaw.
There was a message, it was kinda slow. There was a message, it was kinda slow. It said, thank you son for sending my crow home.
We have something bass guitar shaped. So, next thing we need to do is pop on a template and run the router with a flush trim bit all around the edge. So, let's get the router set up. Okay, so for the routing template, we're going to use a little trick popularised by Ben Crow from Crimson Guitars. Probably my absolute #1 Blue Theory guitar building icon hero. So yeah, I'm a fanboy, yeah, so what? So let's get this laid up. The idea is that you don't have to use double-sided tape, which can be messy, sticky, and generally a pain in the hole to remove. So you apply 2 bits of masking tape to your workpiece and your template, like so. And I'd like to just point out this is the first time I've used this method. So Ben, I'm hoping it works, but I have every faith in you because your work is tremendous. A couple of little beads of super glue along that line of tape, and that one. And then you carefully align your template onto your work. And if your measurements are correct, it should be super glue touching super glue. And the whole thing should stick down like a winner. Yep. Job's a good one. So again, all power tools require power. But always keep your power supply out of the way of your work. Again, before you go in and do anything, make sure you've thought about your cuts, where you're going to cut, where the bearing's going to run on the template, and then commit yourself. Now we just need to figure out how you get this off. Ben Crow, you're a genius. This is why I love Crimson Guitars. The man's a genius. So, because we have trimmed this to the router, a little bit roughly albeit, but because we've trimmed this to the router, we now have an edge here that we can run a top bearing router bit against and follow the same profile the rest of the way around. So I'm just going to use the router bit and then we'll get on with the other side.
There was a message, it was kind of slow. There was a message, it was kind of slow. It said, I thank you son for sending my crow home.
We have something that approximates the shape of a musical instrument. Awesome. Okay. We will have pick up there. And bridge saddles there. Yep, I'd say happy with that, yeah. So, the next thing we're going to need to do is this neck can't be square. Okay, you can't give a base to something with a square neck, so that's got to be rounded off. And again, the method we use to do that, really quite simple. First of all, of course, I need to get this wrought right into these lines here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start shaping this neck. Sorry, I was thirsty there. So, the problem with the neck at the minute is it's very square. It's not very nice to play. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the faceting method. We're going to facet the neck and we're going to take it down in stages. If you don't know what the faceting method is, I'll show you very quickly. Basically, imagine that is the cross section of the neck that we've got. Now we don't want it to be square, we want it to be round. Okay, so what we do is we mark a centre line. Always work the centre line, so we mark a centre line. Okay, we take half that distance from there to there. We take half the distance from there to there, and we draw a diagonal line, like so, and we get rid of all that. All that is gone. Okay. Next thing we do is we mark the halfway point on this line. We mark halfway between these two, and we draw another diagonal, and we get rid of that material. We do the same down here, and we just keep refining it, dividing the facets in half all the way until we end up with, as you can see, the curved shape of a neck. So for this, we need to know where the neck's going to stop and start. So naturally it's going to stop where the body meets the guitar. So that's our first line, that's our break point. We also want to stop here roughly where the neck starts to widen out. So we're going to take a line there, but we don't want it to be a straight line across there, so we want just a bit of a curve. Okay, so these are our two lines. We don't go this side of that line, and we don't go this side of that line. And all we do is we round off this in-between bit. Now the first thing we need to do is take it down to thickness, because that's an inch thick. That's a little bit too deep for a neck. So we need to shallow that slightly. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it down to 20 millimeters. It's not taking much of it, but just taking a little bit. So 20 millimeters, and the thickness of a fretboard will be absolutely perfect. There we go, so that's where we want to take it down to. And of course, for this, we're going to use one of these. If you do any kind of woodworking, get yourself one of these. This goes through wood like a knife through hot butter. A hot knife through butter, yeah, that's it. And it's brilliant for shaping. So this is going to take away most of the wood on this neck and take it down to shape. So I'm going to start just by taking those down to thickness, and then we can take the thickness along the full length. So I want a clamp, first of all. I want to clamp this to the bench. We don't want to be moving about. And we'll clamp the other end as well, just to be safe. So there we go, we're well and truly clamped down. Let's just adjust the camera a little bit. Away, because it's playing with the autofocus. And then We'll just go on it. Okay, that's the thickness there. That's our down to thickness there. So, who spotted it? Yeah. When we had that little slip with the router bit when we were cutting the truss rod channel, yeah, it came right through the wood. That's no great problem. We're just going to plug that with a matching piece of oak, and that'll be absolutely grand. We'll call it a feature. Okay, so we're going to facet this length now, and this is there's no exact science to this, it's a rule of thumb. It's a feeling more than anything else, so I take that as a center point. I take that as a center point, maybe a little bit further over. Take that as a center point and connect them. Okay. Then we're going to take half of this, and half of this, half of this, and half of this, like so. And we're going to join those bad boys up. Just like so. And in this first pass, what we're getting rid of is that. And that. But of course we're not taking it all the way up to the fretboard. We're only going to take it halfway. So we're going to take that as our line to cut to, and also that as our approximate line to cut to. Okay, so let's just bring those in there. Get this clamped up and make a start. There we go. So the process itself is just elbow grease and getting down. And it just comes down to lots and lots of that. So I'm not going to make you watch me do this. It's going to be pretty boring. So I'm going to stop the video here.
I need to find out, I need to find out San Francisco, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Superb. What I now want to do is round over these edges. They're a little bit harsh, so I just want a bit of a round over on them. So I'll swap the rounder bit over for a round over bit. We're still on the pan rounder, we haven't gone to the plunge rounder attachment. And I'm just going to go around and round over these edges. Just give them a bit of a more ergonomic touch. And we'll switch the power on.
Say he lives alone with his bow and his throat. Does anybody know? I need to find out, I need to find out. I think I find it, so yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. So this is the base. We have a shaped body, a partially shaped neck, and a partially cut headstock. Going from the bottom end here, we have got a three-piece body, Iroko, oak, and Iroko. Iroko, Iroko, Ikoko, Iroko, Ikoko. How do you combine oak and Iroko? Iroko? Okaroko? Anyway, something along those lines. So, yeah, body's been sandwiched up. We are going to have the bridge here as the three separate bridge pieces. Let's see if we can get that to focus. Focus, damn you. There we go. So three separate bridge saddles. Allows for better adjustment. Strings are going to anchor through underneath. I was going to do the strings through the body, but there's actually an anchor underneath these bridge saddles, so that'll be fine. We'll anchor them into that. Then we have our Warman pickup. I've decided to go with this pickup actually. It's a double humbucker overwound. It's going to kick out quite a bit more volume. And we want it to be loud. If it's too loud, you're too old. That's going to be inset in a nice walnut surround, which is going to be placed onto this battle axe here. 3D printed part, but it's going to be chrome plated. Okay, and that partly covers up the truss rod, as you can see, and partly creates a nice setting for the pickup. Plus, it's the battle axe motif. You know, you can't have a battle axe guitar without a battle axe on it, can you? Let's be honest. Okay, so it's going to have, you can see it's got the two battle clefs cut into it. This is actually the resonator cover for the blade resonators. It's a 3D printed part, but we have a mold, we can produce any God's amount of them. Okay, and underneath it here in the wings, we're going to have two piezo pickups, one there and one there, and they will be blended with this. So the controls are basically going to be, there's a volume control and there's going to be an on-off switch, which basically includes the piezo. So simple controls, volume, and on-off for the piezo. Just to give it a slightly woodier tone, a more acoustic tone if that's needed. Given who this is going for, he's a bit of a rocker. I don't know how often he's going to use a woodier tone, but having said that, he does have this, a double overwound bass humbucker. That's a beast. Okay, moving up the neck, we have our truss rod, we have our partially shaped neck, and we have our tuners. Just standard bass tuners, good heavy duty ones, but standard bass tuners. Now I'm going to take all this off, and I'm going to lift this body up, just to show you. This body is about an inch thick. So this has gone from being one seriously heavy piece of timber to being an inch thick and lovely and lightweight. There's literally no weight to this at all. It's about probably a third of the weight of a Stratocaster. Because let's face it, there's no need for a thick body. It's just not needed. So it's not. You just need to be deep enough to take the pickup and take the controls. And once you've got that, everything else is bonus. The strap button is going to be an end pin coming out of here. And the other strap button is going to be here. So yeah, all in all, that is the bass. Some people know who it's for, some people don't. There's actually two of these being made for two very well-known bass players, Northern Irish bass players. That's a clue I'll give you. Two very well-known Northern Irish bass players. And if anybody can guess, leave it in the comments below. And if you're right, I won't say publicly, but you might get a message to say you're right. So guys, there we go. That's the build. That's us so far. We're about halfway, 2/3 of the way through it. Next week's video, we'll see the completion of that guitar, that bass. And I'll also be showing a little bit of the build of a Battle Axe blade resonator. Because we haven't shown any blade resonators yet, have we? There's been no blade resonators anywhere on social media yet, so I think it's about time we got them out there and started showing them. So we'll show a bit of a build of a blade resonator, and we'll show the final shots of this build. We're also going to be showing a couple of completed instruments next week. So next week we're going to have Neil McIntosh's resonator complete. We're going to have a couple of boraleles, and we'll probably have a couple of ukuleles ready to showcase. So we'll have those all showcased next week as well. Thanks for joining us, guys. In the meantime, as I say, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, do all that good stuff. Get yourself subscribed. Reach out to us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, by email. Just send us a line, drop us a line. We love it. We love hearing from you. And yeah, as I say, get yourself subscribed and get everyone else you know subscribed, so you can be in with a chance of winning that T-shirt and that Borrelli. You know you won't regret it. So listen, guys, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining us. It's been absolutely fantastic having you here at BTLX today. And I look forward to next week seeing you all again. Until then, have a great time. Peace out. Love you all. Bye.